Welcome to the Irrawaddy. This week we are talking to the Miss Carolina Trivelli, who was the former Minister of the Development and Social Inclusion of Peru government, 2011 to 2013. We are talking about the mobile financial service here, and then Carolina's talking about her experience for the mobile financial service and how it can help for the poor people in Myanmar. I'm Josumont, the Senior Business Journalist of the Irrawaddy. Hi Carolina, how are you today?
Good, thank you. Happy to be here in Myanmar.
Good. Let's start about your experience in the Peru government previously. Could you please mention who you are and who you working for the Peru government? Yes.
I used to be the Minister of Development and Social Inclusion in Peru between 2011 and 2013, when we were creating a new policy on development and social inclusion. So my main task in the government was to articulate all the initiatives helping the poor people and the more vulnerable people to really solve their main problems to get out of poverty. In Peru, we have a decreasing poverty rate, which is very amazing. In 2005, 55% of the population was below the poverty line, and in 2016, 21% was. So a major poverty reduction in a decade, which transformed the country. And the idea was to help these people to really move out of poverty, but also to remain out of it. So we need not only to help people, to protect them with social programs, but also to enable them to really be able to use all the opportunities that economic growth provide for them. Financial inclusion, economic inclusion, productive products, just to allow people to really engage in more autonomous economic behavior.
So you have a lot of experience in the financial inclusions and financial service in Peru. So why you came here?
Well, here we are having the annual meeting of the Consultative Group to Assist the Poor, which is a group of donors that work together to help financial inclusion to advance in the world. Our main goal is to really help the poor to use better and more financial services to really allow them to pursue good opportunities, to improve their livelihoods, to have better behaviors, to better family options, to really improve their lives.
Okay, the Peru and Myanmar could be different. Atmospheres and environments and everything is different. So how can you suggest the recent government to improve the mobile financial service here? Based on your experience, how will you suggest advise them?
You know, the problems of the poor are the same all over the world. You know, the contexts are widely different. The situations, the initial situations could be different, but the poor people, the poor households really require the same tools to move out of poverty in a sustainable way. So financial tools are a key component of that process. With better financial products and services, the poor could really make better choices, could really improve their livelihoods, could really use better the resources they have near hand. So what we need to ensure as public sector interventions is that there is enough space for different types of products and services coming from the financial sector, from different financial operators, mobile phone providers, banks, microfinancial institutions, cooperatives, that they are offering good products and services of good quality, transparent, protecting the consumer, but also relevant for the activities the poor people have, attending the conditions the poor households face. So that can be done if you have a good mapping, but also if you see around the world what is working for the other poor people in the rest of the globe.
The problem is here, awareness for the poor people, how to use the mobile phones and mobile financial service, because you may aware that a lot of people here using here, using the mobile phone, but they don't know how to use effectively for the mobile phone, and then they need some awareness. So how you will suggest or advise to the government to promote that kind of mobile financial service to improve in the rural areas?
Well, you know, one very common thing across the globe is that when you offer a new service to the poor people, at first they are highly resistant because they don't know the new product. But once they learn that this product works for them, it solves a problem, then they will use it. So what we need to ensure is that the product they are receiving is a good quality product, and that is highly a responsibility of the regulator of financial services, but also that the product is really prepared to work with the poor people, recognizing their low literacy levels, recognizing that they will not understand a complex product. So it has to have an interface that is simple to use, because simplicity is a key feature of having good financial services.
So you may are aware that here some illegal financial services are doing something. So how government should handle or control that kind of financial service compared to your experience when you was the ministers for the Peru government?
You know, we cannot figure out how to really help the poor if we don't understand their problems and what type of supply of financial services they face. So we need to learn that, and it's an obligation of the government to really understand what are the options the poor are facing in terms of financial services. If they are facing abusive conditions from an informal lender, they have to take action, because you cannot allow illegal providers to take benefit of the poor. But the main reason is to help competition, because the poor people are very smart and they will make very good choices. So if you have an abusive financial provider and a good competitive financial provider, the poor will go with the better option. But you need to ensure that that option can reach them. So conditions in access are key to ensure financial inclusion. And we need to be sure that it's not possible to reach social inclusion if we don't allow people to get financially included.
Let's talk about the women in the mobile financial service. Based on your experience, how women can, how to say that, can stand their livelihood based on the mobile financial service, the help? How can they do it? And then could you please mention when you was a minister for the Peru and how women got the benefit from that kind of service?
Actually, our financial inclusion strategies from the Ministry of Development and Social Inclusion were targeted only to women, because they are the recipients of the main social programs. They receive cash transfers, for example, and we made a program to ensure that the cash transfer was sent to each woman in the form of a savings account under her name. So that allowed these women to get control of that money. It was privately owned, so the husband or the brother or the father didn't got any access to this money, so they were empowered to use this money. An important feature about financial inclusion is that it's not only for productive uses. You know, when we think about credit, we think about providing money to a poor woman so she can invest it and gain money and repay the loan. But also for women, saving products are key part of the ecosystem, because usually they are able to save a very small amount of money, maybe the equivalent of $1 every month. But when they have $10 saved, they are able to do an investment or to improve household benefits or to buy shoes for the kids to go to school. So it's very important to allow women to save as well as to get credit. But also, when you allow women to have access to credit and to savings, they are in a better position to manage the risk they face. You know, a child gets sick, or you have to make a down payment to improve a portion of your household, or you face an emergency, any type of emergency, you get robbed. So you have some support through the financial sector. And that makes a big change in the way women began making decisions. When you have credit or savings or both, ideally, you begin budgeting. You begin thinking about the future and how you're gonna really spend better the small resources you have available. And that makes a great deal of a change of mindset to really begin thinking of ways out of poverty.
Yeah, thank you for your the suggestions and your experience. And the thing is, what did you learn from here? The mobile financial services, the weakness of the mobile financial services here during your times in Myanmar.
Well, actually, you have a vibrant, growing digital financial sector, and I think that becomes a great opportunity to really not only learn how this could help the poor people in the country, the rural dwellers in Myanmar. The rural population of Myanmar can really get the benefit of that industry, but we need to ensure that that industry can grow sustainable based on solid grounds. And for that, regulatory environment is key, and I'm sure you have a great advance in that portion. But also, we need to ensure that the technology is really attending the needs of the poor. So, you have almost 80% of smartphones. That allows you to provide a lot of information. But we need to be sure that the relevant information for the poor is set in a way that it's simple to access, so we will not exclude anybody of the benefit of using these financial services.
Carolina, the thing is, we are the agriculture-based country. The problem is, the farmers. When you take the loans from the agriculture bank, it takes time long for them. So if we're using the mobile financial service for them, it would benefit for them, or how?
Yeah, actually, the largest benefits of using digital channels like mobile phones is for the rural areas, because you will allow people to stop losing one day traveling to the bank branch to obtain the cash, and you will also reduce all the risk of that person coming back home with all the cash in their hands and all the temptations to spend that cash in different forms, not in the productive use of it. So if you digitize the disbursement of the loan and the money arrives directly to the phone of the farmer, and then the farmer can, from his phone, buy some of the inputs from the local store, the fertilizer, the seeds, and then he could repay the loan when he gets the money from the market after selling his product. He can repay without going to the bank branch. So he can stay in his rural setting without having to move, without assuming any risk, and by better managing the money. And finally, if you digitize all these transactions, you will get a lot of information of this farmer, and that information can be used by the bank and by other financial providers to really customize the products and offer better products for the farmer.
The last questions. The mobile financial service here is the very beginning of the stage, and how would you see how long we need to take time to develop these sectors?
It takes different periods of time in different countries. In Peru, in my country, it's taken like a couple of years to really ramp up. In some other countries like Kenya, after 10 years, we are seeing a major development of digital finance, or in Tanzania. So we don't need to push it to happen very quickly. We need to push to happen very solid, to really be a sustainable endeavor. And for that, what we need to ensure is that all the conditions are met to be able to provide quality products. And quality products not just by the product, but adapted to the needs of the rural population, of Myanmar women's sector, or from different types of organizations from the base of the pyramid.
Yeah. Thank you, Carolina, for your vast contribution for the Irrawaddy. Thank you.
No, thank you.